At the 2014 New York City Marathon, over 50,000 runners participated in the annual event and over 1 million spectators cheered on the athletes. For the second year in a row, Sony Security Systems was chosen to help monitor areas along the marathon route with their IP surveillance cameras. Virsig, the system integrator for this massive undertaking, worked with Sony, in addition to several other global technology partners, to increase and ensure the safety of the runners and spectators. In this video, Sony and Virsig will explain the benefits and challenges associated with installing over 50 Sony IP security cameras in various locations under demanding conditions.
Hi, I'm Kenji Mori.
And I'm Phil Coppola.
We are here today to discuss security at live events, including 2014's New York City Marathon, which I actually ran.
You know, Maury, I noticed you're wearing a couple of the medals there. Why don't you show those up for the camera?
Of course. Here you go.
Nice.
Thank you. Phil, security at large live event is a very important and very newsworthy topic. What are some of the recent events Sony security cameras are used for?
Well, Maury, safety and security at large-scale events like a marathon have become a top priority, and we have a wide range of cameras to support these needs, from dome, bullet, 360-degree, and pan-tilt zoom cameras. The 2014 World Cup was one recent example. Plus, our cameras are used for security and surveillance in many sports arenas, helping to keep fans and participants safe on game day. Of course, this year's New York City Marathon marks the second consecutive year that our cameras were used to help monitor the world's biggest race. We supported the marathon with more than 50 Sony security cameras along the final leg of the route and at the finish line.
Phil, how big is the New York City Marathon?
Wow, the marathon is huge. There are over 50,000 participants. The race spans all 5 boroughs of New York City and ends in Central Park. And there are over 1 million spectators.
Aside from general surveillance, what was the application for this system?
It's a great question. The last mile of the marathon brings all 50,000 participants into a single choke point at the entrance to Central Park at Columbus Circle. On top of that, many of their friends and families cram into the park to cheer their loved ones on. Once the runners have completed the race, they exit the park at 72nd Street along with their friends and families and then are corralled back towards Columbus Circle. This presents a unique situation that requires our cameras to perform multiple functions, from situational awareness at all the entrances and exits to threat assessment and personnel management.
What specific models are used for this year's race?
The models range from dome, bullet, 360-degree, and pan-tilt and zoom cameras. Most notably, the SNC HM662 and SNC XM632, which are on display right here. In addition to those cameras, we also use the SNC WR632 and SNC CH260 and CH280 bullet cameras.
Were there any specific requirements for installation, and were there any unique challenges that need to be overcome?
Absolutely. The cameras that the New York Roadrunners Association required needed to perform multiple functions. They needed cameras that performed under varying lighting conditions. The marathon occurs during the daytime, as you know, but the setup for the marathon goes on several days before, and the cameras needed to be able to perform during both the daytime and the nighttime hours. The Sony high-definition bullet cameras that were used came equipped with infrared illuminators that provided the marathon coordinators with the views that were uninterrupted regardless of the lighting conditions. The SNC XM632, which is one of the latest cameras to be introduced into the Sony IP Engine EX lineup, was used in multiple locations to provide a broad overview of the areas around the entrance of the park as well as the exit points. Because this camera comes equipped with a 113-degree wide-angle field of view and a high-resolution Full HD imager, the images that they captured were far more detailed and expansive than anything used in the marathon in the past. The marathon coordinators also required a camera that could provide them with situational awareness of the activities inside the emergency and medical tents. Because these were temporary structures, they were unable to take advantage of multiple camera views. For those areas, we went with the HM662, which is a 5-megapixel camera capable of providing 360-degree views from a single sensor. From this one camera, they were able to know exactly what was going on in each tent at all times.
Phil, such a large-scale project requires help from our partners. Who did Sony actually work with for the marathon?
You know, in order to pull off an installation like this, you need to work with a world-class security systems integration company. Sony was honored to be part of this project and to be able to partner with one of our Sony Security preferred resellers, Virsig. Virsig worked day and night to get this system up and running, and they had to contend with some really terrible weather conditions to get it done. With their experience in wireless transmission and video surveillance systems design and installation, they really allowed the Sony cameras to operate to their fullest potential.
Thank you very much, Phil.
Virsig played a key role in making this event successful. To tell you more about their role is Virsig's Glenn Taylor. Glenn, how did Virsig get involved in this project?
Virsig was approached by the New York City Marathon. The particular people involved were the medical team for New York Roadrunners. They were looking to develop a situational awareness platform so that they could direct their people to event services and take care of particular needs of the runners.
Why did you choose Sony for this application?
We selected Sony for multiple reasons. One was the quality of the picture, which is foremost, and then the ease of installation. We have a very short window to get this stuff up and running, and we were constantly on street poles and power poles where we don't have a lot of direct access to the cameras during the event. We relied on the auto framing and autofocus that's built into the electronics of the Sony camera.
That's awesome. The weather was challenging. How did this affect your installation?
The weather was very challenging. The day before the marathon, we had freezing cold temperatures and rain coming down. The nice thing about the Sony cameras is even once they went up, we didn't have to touch them again. We could touch those electronically. They constantly were monitoring themselves and adjusting for changes in light, changing in the condition of the environment around them. It made our job extremely simple at that point.
What value did the system bring to the New York Roadrunners Association?
By creating a large situational awareness platform, as we did for New York City Roadrunners, it allowed them to make split-second decisions to get medical teams and assess situations quickly so that they could get the people in the right locations at the right time. We were also able to present a lot of this video and image to some of the larger organizations within the New York City area so that they could also have eyes and ears for security type work that they were doing at that time.
Thanks, Glenn.
This is just one example of how Sony security technology are used in a range of applications. For more information on Sony security, please visit sony.com/security.
Thanks for watching.